I'm sorry, y'all, just 1 second. I want to make sure. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to get started real quick. There may have some people, hop on here and there, but that's totally okay. I'm Brandy Walker, Senior Ruby Ambassador. I know pretty much all of y'all already know that, but today we're just going to talk about some action steps that you can do to train your team to be successful and to be duplicatable. That's a hard word for me to say, but to duplicate down what those above you and above me have, they've taught us. So it's a really simple system. It's, sometimes not easy, but it's simple. And so we want to make sure that we're duplicating all these steps so that we're all on the same page. Okay. Okay, the very first thing that I want to talk about is our checklist for adding new ambassadors. Okay, it's very, very important that every single time that we add a new ambassador, whether they are a wholesale customer, and when I say wholesale customer, I just mean somebody that's signing up just for the wholesale prices, or if they're wanting to sell. We need to do certain things every single time we add somebody. And we need to make sure that our downlines know what to do, because sometimes we add somebody and we get so excited and we're like, yay, okay, we're done. And we don't really do anything to help them get started either on the products or, for the business. So the first thing that you need to do is send a welcome email, and it should have starter files, which is a Dropbox file that's actually on my team page. If you don't have them, let me know, or let your upline know, because they have them as well. And that, y'all, this is super important. I usually send these even if somebody is just starting just for the wholesale prices. And I just tell them, I realize that you're just starting, you're not interested in selling, but, these are just cool to look at. And sometimes I have people that, they look at them and they might get interested in starting to sell. Number two, this is super, super important. Add and welcome them to the team pages. Okay, and tag them and your uplines. Whenever you add them, make sure that you are adding a picture. You can take their profile picture or just a picture you think is looks good. You can ask them if you want. I don't usually ask anybody if I can add them to my team page. I usually just tell them. And actually, in the directions that most of you should have. Actually, I'm going to go through and mute everybody real quick. Okay, hopefully that's better. Okay, I was just saying that add and welcome them to the team pages and tag them in their uplines. Use a picture. I don't ask them if I can add them. The directions that I send them to sign up on the website, at the bottom, it tells them that I'm going to go ahead and add them and welcome them to my team page. That way it's not a surprise. You don't want all of a sudden, I always let them know, but I don't really ask permission. At that point, if they don't want to be added, they'll tell me. And so that's just the steps that I use to add somebody to our team page. Okay, number 4, y'all get them on a call to go over their resources. Like, where can they find posts? Where can they find information? They need to know what their why is. You need to know what their why is. You need to know, are they starting because they've got serious health problems, or, they've got issues, they need to make money. And that way you know how to help them. Go over what list to make, their list of 100, and again, where to find posts and that kind of thing. Help them with their first Facebook post. Okay, a lot of people join and they're kind of iffy about whether they're going to sell and they need help. You can tag them and post on my team page or your upline's team page. I'm sure there are plenty of examples of first post, and just help them make it if they need help. Number 6. Actually, I'm going to go back. I skipped one. Number 3. This is super, super important. This one, I keep saying I'm going to move it to number 1. Send them and their 3 uplines a Facebook message. Okay, this is a private chat message with you and the person you added and their 3 uplines. Actually, I'll probably just do their 2 uplines, but just depending on who they are. just make sure that you tell them, hey, say Melissa added somebody new, and she will send me and her newbie a message and just say, hey, this is my newest ambassador. She's so excited. She signed up for the wholesale prices and she can't wait to get started. That way I know not to bombard her with a bunch of business information, but it opens up a door for communication, and we can talk about, I'm sorry, I'm getting, you can just talk about the products, and if she's got any health issues. I have somebody that just did this last week she had never done this before, and she's gold. So she went through and made messages for every single person that she had added up to this date. Y'all, out of that, she had 3 people that started wanting to sell after that, just doing those messages, and she had no idea they wanted to sell. And so I think it just, sometimes people, they know you. Like, I've got people that I've been friends with forever, and they ask me questions, but for some reason when I put them in a group message with Julia, then they just open up and want to ask more questions. That's just, it's not a reflection on you. It's just, sometimes they think maybe the person above us knows a little bit more, even though we may not. But it's just that third party validation. So like I said, just put an asterisk beside that one. That is super, super important. Y'all, my teams that are doing this, they are exploding and they're growing faster than everybody else. That's just, it's just super important. Okay, number 5. Number 6, send videos and articles to get them going. I would say do this continually. If you have people, especially if they're not selling, send them articles about whatever. If they've got thyroid issues, send them articles on it. If y'all have customer pages, or not customer pages, add them, to the team pages, and we'll go over that more in a minute. But you can add them to groups. We've got a group for just about every kind of ailment out there, and at the very least, add them to the Plexus Journeys page. And that is for ambassadors only, so there are no customers on that page, and they can research on their own. I did when I first joined. I wanted to know everything there was to know about every kind of ailment, and especially about my own stuff, but I wasn't necessarily wanting to ask anybody about it. So, there are some people that are just really researchers, and they really just want to do it themselves. So add them to as many of those pages as you can. If you don't know what pages are available, just ask me, because I'm on a ton of them and I can add you, or your upline can do that. And number 7, obviously, y'all, send them directions on how to take the products. Do this the minute that they join so that you don't forget. I have just gotten into a habit. Every single time I have somebody join, right then I send them directions. And then I send it again after I know that they've gotten the product, or I try to gauge, usually shipping is just a couple of days. So I try to send the directions again. And that way, you don't want somebody to get the products, and even if they got the email, maybe they didn't read it, you don't want them to get the products and then just read on the package, it says take 4 BioCleanse and 4 Probio 5, and they start out the first day like that. You do not want that to happen. So make sure that you send them the products, and send them the product directions, and then stay in contact. And when I say stay in contact, I mean the first week, you need to be talking to them several times that week, because y'all know how it was the first week that you started. Some people take it and they feel great the first day, but 9 times out of 10, they're not going to feel so great the first week. And you don't want them to quit because they think the products are, that they're allergic to it or something, or they've got some kind of issue with it. Just talk to them and help them learn how to tweak the products. And if you don't know how to troubleshoot, put your upline in a group message with them. Again, that's what these group messages are for, and they can help you, walk them through the die-off symptoms. And on the bottom, it says, remember, you're a leader. Your team will duplicate what you do. Be an example. Y'all, this is so important. If you're not doing these steps, your downlines are not going to do these steps. Sometimes it's easy, when you've been doing it for a while, to get complacent and you forget, a couple of steps, but your team will see this. So you've got to do whatever it is that you want your team to duplicate. You have to be the example every single time. I'm going to unmute y'all for just a second and see if anybody has any questions. Does anybody have any questions so far? I'm going to I'm going to send these graphics when we get done. I'm going to send them in our group chat. That way you'll always have them. Save all of these to the notes on your phone. That way, every time you add an ambassador, you know what to do. Okay. I'm going to mute you again. Okay, hopefully y'all heard what I said. I just said that I'm going to send all these graphics in our group chat when we're done. So that way you can have them and you can refer back to them easily. Okay, this is a checklist for leaders. If you've got even one person on your team, you're a leader. If you don't have anybody, then just take notes, because this is what you're going to do when you get somebody on your team. The first one, again, I just talked about that, lead by example. If you are not posting daily on Facebook, just on your personal page, your team's going to see that, and they're going to think, well, she only posts 1 or 2 times a week, then that's all I need to do. Y'all, your team's not going to grow like that. You've got to lead by example. And sometimes, even for me at this stage, I've been doing this for 1.5 years, and I'm pretty sure that most of my Facebook friends know that I sell Plexus. But I still have to post every day. And the reason I have to do that is because, for one, I'm still getting new customers and new ambassadors after 1.5 years. So obviously some people have, either they've just been watching me or they're just now, paying attention. But also because my team is watching me, and they have to, even the new people, if I were to stop, new people would not know how important it is to post every day. Okay, and again, number 2, post daily. If you have a team page, some of you don't have team pages right now, it's totally okay, but eventually you will. Make sure that you're posting every single day on your team page. A lot for our team, a lot of us don't have local people. We're really spread out across the country, really across the world, because we've got Elizabeth, who's in England, and several other people. Melissa's in Italy. We've got people all over the place. And so that is all they're going to see of you, pretty much. You've got to make sure that you're posting every day, and you're posting different types of things, because we do have to remember that we're adding wholesale ambassadors to our team pages. So these are people that are just signed up just for the products. So they're basically customers, but they are still ambassadors. So it's a privilege to be on that page, but we need to make sure that we're posting, product information, different things like that. Julia recently gave us a tip on the things that you should be posting on your team page every day. And number 1 is product information. Like I said, we have people on there that they're not into all this business stuff, so you want to keep them engaged. So a product information, you can post something, some type of training, so some type of video every day. There's all kinds of stuff, obviously, on YouTube. You can get them from the other team pages. And be creative. Don't necessarily just copy and paste every single training that your upline posts, because a lot of us are all on the same team pages. So 9 times out of 10, if Julia posted something, a lot of you are on her team page. A lot of you have already seen it. And a lot of you, sometimes her stuff gets lost. So sometimes I do still share what she shares because her team page is so big. But I also try to post different things so that there's just a variety of training on my page. Also, you can post something simple like Power of 3, compensation plan, something for new ambassadors, things that, sometimes I get complacent too, and I've posted that, last month. Well, we've got to remember we're constantly adding new people to our team pages, so we have to make sure, even if you go find that post and just put an asterisk or something so it pops up to the top of your team page, or just change the graphic. This morning I added something for wholesale customers, and it's the same post, but I just made a different graphic. So it just looks different. It gets people's attention more. So just make sure that you're, changing things up on your team page. And number 3, I realize that says lead weekly trainings. That obviously means lead weekly trainings. So I need to fix that graphic, but lead weekly trainings on your team page. Okay, that means either in person like this, like a Zoom training. You can do, meet people in person. You can do different legs on your team page. You can do videos, make videos and your team needs to see your face at least once a week. Even if it's just a simple hi, hope your week's going well, and just a little tip, tip for the day, something simple like that. And then again, number 4, 20 minutes of self-development daily. I still do this every day, y'all. I watch videos on YouTube. I try to read. I'm not a huge reader. I'm not going to lie about that, but I have read some of these network marketing books, and they are very, very helpful. And if you don't know which books are good, just ask. There's a ton of them out there, but some that are really, really helpful. But again, I love to watch videos, so I'm always trying to find different things on YouTube or on different team pages. And that's just to help you grow as a person, so that you are, you're able to help your downlines. Okay, 3-way calls. We were talking about, when you first get somebody, the very first week, you want to get them on a 3-way call. And this is not necessarily wholesale ambassadors or people that just signed up for the products and you're not interested in selling. You don't necessarily want to go over, this graphic with them, but you want to go over just their products. Sometimes it's hard. I'm not going to say it's not. Sometimes it's hard to get a brand new customer that's just in it for the products to get them on a 3-way call. If you can't get them on a 3-way call, at least get them on the phone and just talk to them about, what their goals are and that kind of thing, if it's possible. Excuse me, I know sometimes, some of you live overseas and it's hard to get people on the phone, but get them on a Zoom or just, if you can, to talk to them in person. Okay, but business builders or people that are interested in the business, find out their why. We talked about this a minute ago, why they're doing the business, discuss their goals. If they want to make, just get enough to make their, to pay for their products, or if they are interested in going all the way to the top, we know them what information to send them and how fast we want to, work with them. If they are not interested in going fast, find that out too. Again, list making, Facebook posting, why it's important to post daily, 2 to 3 times a day. And y'all, talk about consistency and follow-up. Please let people know that being consistent with your Facebook posting is one of the best things that you can do for your business, and following up. I've got people, oh my goodness, my new ambassador that just signed up yesterday, who is also my cousin. She started with me the very first weekend that I started selling Plexus. She started as a customer and she took the products for about 6 months, and then life happened and she stopped taking them. Well, I have been following up with her all this time, but she finally messaged me yesterday and she said, okay, I'm ready. I've already started the few products that I have. I'm ready to sign up. And she signed up as an ambassador yesterday. So it's so important to continue to follow up. And I've got people, y'all, that I've been messaging since day one for, a year and a half. And I've had some people that are ready to order. So just don't forget to do that, and don't forget to follow up with your ambassadors as well. Sometimes when they join, we're like, okay, well, they're ambassador. They're just like me. They know all this stuff, and you kind of quit following it with, no, you've got to treat them just like a customer. At least once or twice a month, you need to contact them. And an easy way that I do it, everybody does it different. For my customers, or my ambassador, any of my people that I follow it with, I print out a list of my customers from my back office, and I also print out a list of my ambassadors. And I can just take that and I get out my calendar. I don't have it right here, but and I will just write on the days of the week. If I've got, say, 35, 40 customers, I will just take a couple of those each day and write it on that day of the month. And that way, by the end of the month, I've covered all 40 ambassadors, and I could just send a quick, if I got 3 people on Monday, I can just send a quick message and just say, hey, just checking in, see how you're doing your products. Do you need anything? Or are you ready to switch something up? And, I can check their name off the list. That way, by the end of the month, I have made sure that I have, contacted all of my customers and all of my ambassadors, whether they're wholesale or whether they're, in it for the business. Because I'll tell you this, silence from an upline can be devastating to your business. If you're not keeping in contact with these people, they're going to assume that you just sign them up just to make money and you don't care. And I hate to be blunt like that, but it's the truth. You've got to keep in contact with these people. Also go over the resources to use, where to find posts, where to find training videos, that kind of thing. Okay, and okay, these are action steps that you need to do every day, pretty much. We've kind of gone over this before, but posting for you is so important, y'all. I know I've said this on every graphic, but I can't stress that enough. Starting and stopping is going to be just crucial to whether you are going to be successful or whether you're not going to be successful. Even if it's slow and you haven't signed an ambassador in 2 months, do not stop posting, y'all, because I promise you people are reading them. If you don't get any likes or any comments, that's okay. We all go through spells like that. But if you don't get any, ask for it. Get on our runners group and ask for people to comment on your post. I do it all the time. If I've got a post that I really want people to see, or if I just haven't gotten any likes or comments in a couple of days, I will ask for comments. And it just kind of will boost all of your views, or, you know, the people that are viewing your post. It shows up, the more likes and comments that you have on a post, it shows up in other people's newsfeed. So that's so, so important. Train yourself, contact new people. Daily, y'all contact new people. I know we talk about 531 all the time. Contact 5 new people, follow up with 3 people, and train 1 person every single day. If you can't do 5 people, y'all do 2 people. Pick a number that you can stick with and be consistent, because you may not, you know, you may contact somebody, say on Monday, and then on Tuesday, you may talk to the person that you contacted last week or even last month. And on Wednesday, same thing. So you've got to, you know, you're not going to get a reply from every single person that you reach out to. Maybe not then. But they may see your message and they're like, I don't really know anything about this Plexus stuff. So the first thing they're going to do is go back to your Facebook page and see what this Plexus stuff is all about. If you haven't posted in a couple of days, they're not going to see anything and they're going to assume that it's not that important. So that's why it's so important to post and contact people, not just one or the other. Some people say, oh, I'm just going to message people. I don't really want to, you know, put that Plexus stuff all over my Facebook page. Y'all, that's important. If you contact them and you haven't posted anything, they're just going to assume it's just a fad and something you're not really taking seriously. So it's important to do both. Again, follow up and train your team. If you are not sure how to train your team, get your upline to help you, y'all. That's what we're here for. I will do it anytime. I'm always available. Well, maybe not always, but we will get you on the calendar and get your people trained. That's so important. Even if it's somebody that, you know, they've said they're interested, but they're just not quite sure. Sometimes once they get on and we start talking, they get really, really excited. I get encouraged. You know, their upline gets encouraged, and it's just all around good to do these 3-way calls. Can I unmute y'all?
Stop it! Stop it!
Okay, I've unmuted y'all now, so if you need help, go ahead. Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions?
Brandy, what's a good way to talk to people who said they didn't want to sell, but they're already your ambassadors, and bring up the 3-way chat idea? Because I have no idea how to even mention that I want to do a 3-way chat with them and my uplines if they've already told me they don't want to sell. Okay,
I don't ever ask them if they want to do a 3-way chat. I don't ask them if they want to be added to my team page, and I don't ask them if they want to. I just put them in a 3-way chat and say, hey, I'm going to introduce you, especially, you know, since they're already an ambassador. Can y'all hear me?
It's really breaking up a lot.
I'm going to mute y'all again, and then I'll unmute you once I answer it, okay? No. Okay. I don't ask anybody if I can add them to my team page, and I don't ask anybody about doing the 3-way chat. I just do it. Immediately after somebody signs up, I start that 3-way chat. Now, like you said, you've got people that, hey, they've been doing it for a while. I would just put them in a 3-way chat anyway and just say, hey, I was just I just realized I've never, introduced you to my uplines or whatever. And just say, you can use this chat to ask questions anytime, no pressure, and that way it just kind of opens up communication. And sometimes they may not say anything. We'll just say, welcome, most of the time I'll just, if you put me in it, like with Randy or whoever, I might wait for them to answer first because I want them to be a leader, but I'm also going to just say, hey, welcome, just, feel free to ask questions anytime. The same thing with adding them to the team page. I just do it. Don't ask. And I do not, y'all, this is something I wanted to go over is I do not add wholesale customers to a customer page. Do not do that. They are not customers, they're ambassadors. Okay, so we don't want to get them confused and get us confused, and then they're not ever exposed to anything on the ambassador side that's why they signed that $34.95. That's a privilege to be on our pages. Because I can tell you, I was one of those people that I had no intentions of selling. I took the products for 6 months, and when I saw Julia's page, I just saw all the business stuff, and I saw all the interaction, and I saw it growing and growing, and I was like, that looks really fun. I think that's something I want to do. But it took me 6 months. So if you're adding them just to a customer page, they're not ever going to see any of this business stuff that you want them to be able to see. It's, again, it's their privilege and their right to be able to be on those pages. So even if they've told you they don't want to sell, it doesn't matter. You're still going to, a lot of that product information is going to be on your team page because as the upline, you're going to be adding that stuff to your team pages. And if y'all don't have a team page, your upline is doing that. So, and that's something we're really focusing on right now is making sure that we're adding product information and testimonies to our page because that's interesting to people, y'all. I know on your team pages, you can pretty much, you don't have to be compliant on a secret team page. So we can add non-compliant testimonies. We can add non-compliant things about the products. Obviously we got to make sure that we tell people not to post non-compliant things, but on your team pages, you can do whatever you want. So they're not going to miss out on anything if you think, they've signed up just as a customer. So make sure that you're adding those people to the team pages and not customer pages. Okay, I'm going to unmute y'all again for a second. Okay, does anybody else have any more?
Is there an easy way to see what kind of page that you're going to join them to? I mean, I don't know how to know the difference between which one's a customer only and which one's an ambassador page.
This is not how we do
Who was that talking? I'm sorry, I couldn't tell. Is that Jennifer? Did you ask this question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was asking if there's a way you can easily tell what kind of a page that you're going to join them to. How do you know which one's just a customer only page and which one's an ambassador page?
Ask your upline which page it should. Okay. You should always customer page. Not everybody. It's not.
Randy, can you mute us again? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Okay, whenever you can ask your upline, of course, which page is a customer page and which is an ambassador page. My customer page is just for my customers only. I don't have it for everyone. And y'all, I will say that customer pages are really unique just to our team. There are not many other teams that do customer pages. So if you don't want to do a customer page, you don't have to. But it's just a kind of a neat place since we can't post as many uncompliant things anymore that we can do that on our customer pages. That's kind of why we created them, but you do not have to have a customer page. But if your upline has one that's for everybody, I know Randy and Melissa, their teams have customer pages that anybody on that team can add their customers to. If it doesn't say customer in the title, then just ask. But if I would encourage you, if you're on this call or if you're listening, if you've got a customer page and customer is not in that word, you need to change it. That way people, your new ambassadors who are working the business and trying to figure out what's what, they're not confused. Because I'll be honest, some of them I'm confused. I see all the team pages and all the customer pages and I get confused sometimes on what's what. So it really would be helpful, to make sure that your name and like mine is just called Brandy's Customer Support. That way, anybody, I don't have any ambassadors on my customer on my customer page. I don't add any ambassadors to it. Unless one of you have asked me to add you to it just to see, but that's the only customers that will be on my customer support page. I hope that answered your question. Jennifer, I'm going to unmute you for just a second. Jennifer, you're on Marsha's team, right?
I am, yes.
Yes, her page is, I probably will talk to her about that and just see if she can change the title so that you know what's what, because it is kind of confusing, the titles of her.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, and I wanted to have one more question. How do you know whenever you need to start making your own, whenever you start having, I guess, customers or ambassadors? Is that whenever you do it, or is there a certain level, or does it matter?
We usually say if you get one ambassador, you need to make a team page. I think that has kind of changed recently, just because there gets to be so many team pages. So maybe when you get, anywhere between 10 ambassadors and gold, like 10 to 20 ambassadors, is probably time to start a team page. A customer page, if you want to have a customer page, and like I said, don't feel obligated to have one, but they are good to have.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that when you get one customer. If you would just rather add your own customers to your own page, yeah, that's just
okay.
That's just your decision. However you want to do it. I like doing my own personally, just because I like to be able to run my own specials and things. But some, like I know Melissa and Randy do that, and their customer pages are awesome. So that's just one less thing that you have to do if you can add them to theirs.
Okay.
Anybody else? If you have a question, just unmute yourself. Y'all are easy this morning. Holy cow. Everybody still tired? Okay, I just unmuted everybody. And y'all have any questions?
No.
Nope. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.